This is the Vsb Tv 11 News for Thursday, February 27th. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story. President of the BIU, Chris Ferbert, held a press conference this afternoon at which time he expressed his concerns over the recent budget statement. Topping his list of concerns is the proposal to mutualize, outsource or privatize 13 different departments, including the airport operations, waste management and parks maintenance, just to name a few. Mr. Ferbert said that although the goal in implementing this proposal is to save money, he doubts that will occur.
When you look at all of those departments, right now, if you are going to either mutualize them, privatize them, or outsource them, there still has to be some kind of cost that's going to be attached to the government. And the one I want to give you an example is the Department of Parks. If the government is going to privatize, mutualize, or outsource the Department of Parks, right now Parks Department has an expenditure of $10.5 million. It takes in a revenue of $250,000. It has a shortfall of $10.2 million as a shortfall. So it's either the government's, whoever they privatize it to or mutualize it or outsource it to, they're going to have to be charging the government to clean up the parks or wherever the Parks Department works now. So that's still going to be a cost to the government. So what the government is coming and say, well, what do they anticipate that cost is going to be to them? Because it's certainly not going to be free. I don't see them outsourcing, privatizing, and mutualizing, and the people that take over now say, well, okay, we'll do this, and we're not going to charge the government anything. But if I'm not going to charge the government anything, then certainly there has to be a cost to the taxpayer. How do you control that cost if you privatize, outsource, or you mutualize it? How does government control that cost? Because naturally enough, if I'm going to be taking over the business, I'm going to be looking to make a profit. And if the government's saying, well, I can't charge no more than $1 for this service, and I need $1.25 or $1.15 to break even or make a little bit of money, then I'm not going to take over that business. So I think these are some of the challenges that is going to be very challenging for us going forward. So recognizing that, when these public services are going to be looked at by this new committee, and they're going to make recommendations to the government that they should either, set up mutualization, privatization, or outsourcing of these departments. What I think the country needs to be concerned about, particularly, is that, and it's the opinion of the Bermuda Industrial Union, that respectfully the minister has the cart before the horse. And without being disrespectful, the reason why I think we're saying that is that to have a conversation with the public first about whether or not you want us to get rid of this public service, because it's a service right now that's being provided to the public.
Bermuda has recorded its fourth road death of the year with the passing of 36-year-old Warwick resident Thomas Tabor following a single vehicle accident on Crow Lane at 11:24 on Wednesday night. The expat worker was traveling east on his motorcycle when he lost control of the cycle and collided with the bus shelter. He was taken to hospital where he was later pronounced dead. A family liaison officer has been assigned to his local support system and his overseas family. And PC Stephen Painter of the Roads Policing Unit has been named the lead investigator, reachable at 295-0011. Any witnesses to the fatality or anyone who might know of his last movements prior to the collision is asked to contact the police. Governments from across the world will travel to Bermuda on March 11th to sign the historic Hamilton Declaration on Collaboration for the Conservation of the Sargasso Sea. The declaration is a non-binding political statement that will be signed by countries interested in conserving the Sargasso Sea. While in Bermuda, the signatories will discuss proposals that will be directed through existing international and regional organizations to seek conservation measures for this huge area of ocean. Environment Minister Trevor Moniz says the benefits which are expected to stem from the signing of the declaration will include worldwide recognition of the Sargasso Sea as an ecologically important and unique global resource, and Bermuda being seen as a global leader in initiating international collaboration for high seas protection. The March meeting has been spearheaded by the government of Bermuda, which leads the Sargasso Sea Alliance. The governments represented will pledge support for the initiative to conserve the Sargasso Sea, a 2 million square mile ecosystem that surrounds the islands of Bermuda. Inflation dipped a point in January, falling to 1.8%. after December's disappointing jump to 1.9. The January survey shows that the health and personal care sector remained the largest contributor to inflation, with an annual increase of 7.7%, thanks to the 5.5% increase in the price of prescribed drugs. The food sector increased by 2%, and transport and vehicles 1.5%, when considering the annual rate of inflation. While on a happier note, fuel and power prices declined 2.9%, as the cost of residential electricity fell 3% month over month. A 40-year-old man appeared in magistrate's court this morning and pleaded guilty to stealing a checkbook from a deceased man's home. Vsb's Julia Smat has more.
Lerone Ming of no fixed abode pleaded guilty to 14 counts relating to checkbook fraud that led to him depositing a whopping $7,300 into his bank account. The court heard that the checkbook belonged to a deceased Mr. Trott, whom was connected with Trott's Manor Enterprises. Ming had broken into a home on Coop Pond Road in St. George's in December of last year and stole a Butterfield Bank checkbook. The executor of the late Mr. Trott's estate, Judith Ann Simmons, noticed that the property had been broken into and that the checkbook was gone. It was then that she called police and an investigation into the matter was launched. It was discovered that Ming had deposited multiple checks into his account and then later withdrew cash via ATM machines. The checks were signed with forged signatures of Mr. Trott. The bank was alerted to the situation. When Ming made his next visit to the bank, he was arrested and questioned by police. In court, Magistrate Kamisi Tecumbo ordered a social inquiry report and scheduled a sentencing date for April. In the meantime, Ming was remanded in custody. I'm Julia Smat, reporting for Vsb News.
With Bermuda's population expected to decline by 4% between 2010 and 2020, thus changing the ratio of wage earners to the young and old dramatically, Premier Craig Cannonier is calling on the community to keep their eye on what could become a future headache. Vsb News' Chris Lodge has been studying the figures.
Premier Cannonier says a decline is largely due to net emigration and slowing natural population growth as a result of a declining birth rate. Thus, Bermuda's resident population is likely to drop from 64,129 people in 2010 to 61,566 people in 2020. Other facts in the report include Bermuda is expected to continue aging substantially. The median age of the population that was 41 years in 2010 could climb to 46 years by 2020. The proportion of seniors 65 years and older could increase from 14% in 2010 to 20% by 2020. And the total dependency ratio is projected to rise from 43 in 2010 to 51 by 2020. Now this means that in 2020 there will be 51 children and seniors for every 100 people of working age. I'm Chris Lodge, Vsb News.
And when we come back, the Family Center invites you to celebrate the night and help it raise funds. Still ahead is Rachel with the weather preview.
Thanks, Peter. Showers and unsettled conditions with a chance of thunder. On the radar, a lot of activity. Surprise, surprise. It's going to continue to be a wet evening, but please stay tuned for the full weather report as we take a closer look at the weekend.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb TV 11.
Imported red-ripe strawberries, just $4.99 for a 1-pound package. Certified Angus beef, sirloin tip roast, only $6.29 per pound. All varieties of Breyers ice cream, just $6.99 for a 48-ounce tub. Bounty Select-A-Size paper towel, only $3.19 for 1 roll. All varieties of Sargento shredded cheese, just $3.99 for an 8-ounce package. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience. You can count on us.
Next month marks Rotary's 90th anniversary of service to Bermuda, during which local Rotarians participated in the raising of millions of dollars for the eradication of polio. Immediate past president Major Barrett Dill explains.
2014 is also the year that the Rotarians of Bermuda celebrate 90 years of Rotary service. And in March of this year, we will be celebrating with a week of festivities and are extremely excited that the year 2014, I have to keep emphasizing that, is 90 years of service of Rotary in Bermuda.
What was the local branch's contribution to the eradication of polio?
And that is a very good question, very exciting for us, in that we have our past president of Hamilton Rotary Club, Walter Maddox, who raised an astonishing $264 million between 1986 and 1988 for the eradication of polio. And I'm so pleased to say that today there are only 3 countries who are now graced, or rather, who are suffering from the effects of polio. And those 3 countries are, without India, now is Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria. So we are in our final inch of eradicating polio from those 3 countries. And once we do that, then the world will be free of polio.
City Hall will be the location of a clock to commemorate Rotary's presence in Bermuda, as explained by Dr. George Cook, chairman of the fundraising committee.
Walter Maddox was a key man in getting the eradication program, the polio eradication program, underway back in the 80s. Now, as you see, we're very close to completion. So we thought that it would be a nice idea on this occasion, our 90th anniversary, 90 years of Rotary service in Bermuda and worldwide, to erect a memorial in his name in the form of a 4-faced Rotary clock. This clock has the Rotary emblem in each of the faces, and then each face is named for one of the 4 clubs in Bermuda, because they're all contributing to the erection of this clock. And it will be a reminder to the public of Bermuda of 90 years of service to Bermuda over the past 90 years, and a commitment to the next 90 years, we can put it that way.
Rotary will be hosting a number of events to mark the occasion, concluding with a gala dinner at Fairmont Hamilton Princess in mid-March. The Family Center makes it a point to run programs to benefit the youth, and they always extend a helping hand to families in a myriad of ways. This weekend, the organization will be hosting a fundraiser called Celebrate the Night. The hope is that funds will be raised to aid the Family Center in continuing to run their many worthwhile programs. Martha Dismont of the Family Center spoke to VSB's Julia Smatt about what some of their most successful programs are.
Young people really are a reflection of what the adults are doing and thinking and providing. So when we see a change with the youth, it's all about a change with the adults. And so with all the different behaviors we're seeing with adults these days, you reckon that kids will see this and get a certain message. So really the focus is needs to be on the adults. Youth will follow. And therefore, we're looking at ways in which we can get adults to be aware of the issues. And so, on a good note, many more adults are aware that children need nurturing, that you need to understand how children develop, and therefore, once you're aware of these things, then you can change your behavior and your approach, and then we will see something different with the youth.
Through diligence in working with the young people in Bermuda, Ms. Dismont agrees that the youth seem to be consistently choosing to follow positive paths. She explains some of the factors that have contributed to this.
We've got to get in front of programs, get in front of what's going on with young people and with their parents. And so I know you're a fan of our Youth Police Initiative that we just had in terms of the training that we did, where youth are learning to appreciate police, and police are learning to appreciate and respect young people. And that program is a very important program to get to those high-risk youth or those young people in the community who may feel that they have no one that really cares for them well enough, or parents of those youth who need some extra support. So that particular program is a program where we put together the police and young people, and we work with them to develop a nice bond, and then they move from the bond with police into a leadership program where then they learn to become young leaders, and we stay with them until they graduate from high school. It shows young people that we care about them. It gives police an understanding of the history of some young people, and it gives young people an appreciation for the police.
Celebrate the Night will take place this Saturday from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. at Four Ways Inn. The evening will showcase comedy by Gina Love and Friends, and Toby Butterfield of Improv Bermuda, as well as a magic show, karaoke, and music. Tickets can be purchased at Four Ways Inn, the Family Center, La Trattoria, and Cablevision. The fire service is being promoted as a possible career choice for regiment soldiers who are finishing their time in the regiment. The Bermuda Fire Service and the Bermuda Regiment are teaming up and will not only allow for the soldiers to be given credit for successful completion with the island's military unit, but to also give the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service access to trained young men and women already accustomed to discipline, team spirit, and community service. Colonel Foster Brown said the regiment already works very closely with the emergency services as part of our mandate to support the civil authorities in a variety of roles. He went on to say that it provides an incentive for soldiers to know that their service has earned them options for applying what they learned in the regiment to a career path after they have been discharged. Now, here's the Reinsurance Business Report presented by Bermuda Re.
Bermuda Reinsurance News, brought to you by Bermuda Re. Swan Re, part of a new wave of hedge fund-backed reinsurers, hasn't encountered any headwinds on account of SAC Re's recent troubles, following indictments for insider trading at parent company SAC Capital. Third Point Reinsurance posts a big increase in profits for 2013, its second full year in operation. The company increased net profit by 128.7% as gross written premiums increased by $203.2 million, or 106.7%. Renaissance reappoints Ross Curtis as Group Chief Underwriting Officer, and he will assume his duties from July 2014. Validus Re's strong risk-adjusted capitalization, solid historical operating performance, and experienced management team has led AM Best to affirm the reinsurer's strong ratings. According to AM Best, Validus Re's strength lies in an excellent enterprise risk management program and prudent operating strategies. Marvin Pascoe, currently CEO of Life and Health at Partner Re, retires next month. As a result, CFO Bill Babcock will assume executive responsibility for investments, and Emmanuel Clark, CEO of Partner Re Global, will assume executive responsibility for life and health. Anders Hoffman Bang has been appointed to the role of Casualty Manager Denmark as part of a program of investment to further strengthen ACE's position in the Nordic region. Hoffman Bang will be responsible for the underwriting performance of the group's casualty portfolio. Guy Carpenter launches GC Cat View, a satellite-based catastrophe evaluation service currently being used to provide initial insured loss estimates to clients affected by the UK floods. The new service analyzes a range of inputs, including satellite and radar imagery, ground survey data, and social and mainstream media coverage. That's Bermuda Reinsurance News, brought to you by Bermuda Re.
Now, here is a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
Here are the daily markets presented by Bias. Stocks in the U.S. gained after comments from the U.S. Fed chairwoman and U.S. Treasury prices rose on flight to safety following escalated tension in Ukraine. U.S. stocks rose, sending S&P 500 to a record high as Fed Chair Janet Yellen said the central bank may change its strategy of tapering should the economy weaken. The S&P 500 gained 0.49% to close at 1,854. 2,500 shares of Bank of Butterfield traded at the price of $1.99 per share. Other Bermuda-related stocks listed in the U.S. also closed positive. European stocks declined after news of military movements in Russia and escalated tension in Ukraine. The German index dropped to its lowest level in 2 weeks, with the DAX closing at 9,588, down 0.76%. Chinese stocks rose as investors speculated that state-controlled companies will take steps to boost shareholder returns. The Shanghai index was up 0.3% to close at 2,047. Brazil's Vsb gained 2.16% after iron ore producer Vale SA surged and the Brazilian real jumped to a 2-month high. The index closed at 47,607 at the end of trading. Treasury yields declined as political turmoil in Ukraine boosted demand for safety. At the end of trading, U.S. 10-year Treasury notes yield 2.65%, up 2 basis points. The yen climbed the most in 3 weeks against the U.S. dollar as investors preferred safety following increased political turmoil in Ukraine. The yen gained 0.29% against the dollar as of last trade. That was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. There's more news after the break.
The Dollar Depots are your one-stop shop for your party and entertaining essentials. Bags, balloons, bows, decorations and invitations for all themes and occasions. Party favors, gifts and toys, piñatas, games and candy for any celebration. Fun and colorful accessories and supplies to create and cater the perfect party or family and friends gathering. Let Dollar Depot make your entertaining easy and your party pop. Visit Monday through Saturday in Hamilton, Heron Bay, Shelley Bay and Somerset. Dollar Depot, where you buy value for less.
It's our fantastic February savings event going on now. We have something for every room of your home and incredible savings all month long. Browse around our site to find exactly what you're looking for. New styles, new colors, a new look for your home. We have a huge selection of beautiful furniture and amazing prices that won't last long. So stop in today. You won't want to miss our fantastic February savings event going on now.
Buying a new bike? Go with the company that offers brand name quality and great after-sales service. Oleander Cycles. Whether you're a daily commuter looking for a reliable ride or business owner sourcing wheels for your delivery team, you'll find bikes to suit your needs at Oleander Cycles. Oleander carries quality bikes from respected manufacturers PGO and TGB, and a full line of accessories from helmets to top boxes and baby seats. Just as important as the bike is the service behind it. Oleander delivers with 7-day-a-week service in our 4 locations, same-day service with appointment, an extensive inventory of parts, and a 6-month warranty on new bikes. Visit our Hamilton or Paget showroom today. Best bikes, best service, Oleander Cycles.
The ICC High Performance Manager for the region, Andy Pick, has taken up the job as bowling coach for Notts County cricket team. He is on island preparing players and officials for the upcoming season. Mr. Pick told Vsb Sports that the ICC is moving away from high performance to more participation. He had this response when asked if he was interested in any local players trying out with Notts County.
Not necessarily any individuals at the moment. I think it'd be more of an opportunity if once I sort of get there and get settled and see how the land lies. You know, Notts have, through my contacts at Notts in the past, we've had a couple of guys from the Cayman Islands out there and a couple of guys from the US out there. More pre-season than anything when people are looking for more bowlers, and they generally tend to be bowlers. But I'm hoping that, you know, there may be the odd opportunity for a Bermudan to come over and spend some time in that first-class environment and see how first-class players do it and mix in that sort of, as I say, in that environment and see how it goes, as well as get an opportunity to showcase their talents.
Yeah. Final question. What do you think about the ICC? You've been involved with them a number of years. Do you think that there should be some changes, and what direction do you think they're going, or do you think they're on solid footing?
I think it's difficult because they're a non-for-profit organisation ultimately, so they are, their direction to a large degree is governed by the members ultimately, and obviously the 10 full members have a bigger say in that, and it's not as if they necessarily can decide their own direction per se. They have to do it within parameters that are set by, as I say, by the 10 full members. They decide what portion of funding from the World Cups and the advertising and the T20 stuff and whatever, they decide what percentage of funding gets given to development, and ultimately, so as they are the people in charge, the 10 full members, they have to sort of bear in mind what they want to do and what they want to see out of development. It is going a little bit more towards participation and away from high performance in the regions, and that's I think that's disappointing, but I would do because I work in high performance, and I think there's a lot of work that still could be done high performance wise. But if that's the decision they've gone, if they're going to go to participation, I can see where they want more people playing, more people interested in the game. That's more people then that buy Sky Sports and buy Star Sports, and then there's more money coming into the game, and from a business point of view that makes sense. But I get the impression that high performance is sort of becoming a little bit of a distant second at the moment.
Phasing out.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's VSB weather forecast. Our weather shot is brought to us by Jill Rain, very appropriate name, taken at 9 this morning, St. George's. Beautiful old sailing vessel in St. George's Harbour. Kind of looks like a pirate ship. Not the greatest conditions for sailing or generally being outside. A lot of rain, grey skies, water not too rough, but good day to be inside. Thank you, Jill, for sending in this wonderful shot. Temperatures for today, we had a high of 73 at 12:15 in the afternoon and a low of 68 at 8:15 in the morning. Current conditions, 70 degrees, humidity 85%. Winds are blowing out of the west, 20 to 30 knots with gusts up to 40 knots. A barometric pressure is falling slowly at 29.69 inches. Rainfall index for the month of February, 7.18, for a yearly total of 13.41. Yearly norm for this time, 10.13 inches. And looking at the satellite, a cold front approaches the area tonight, bringing showers early and a chance of thunder. Winds will remain strong, gusting to gale force around shower activity. Winds decrease overnight with rain and showers through Saturday. Settled conditions return Sunday afternoon as high pressure builds across the area. And look at the gateway cities. Atlanta, partly cloudy, 54. Boston, sunny and 23. Charlotte, mostly sunny and 48. London, rain and 43. Miami, 78, mostly cloudy. New York, 20 and mostly sunny. Orlando, 73, partly cloudy. Philadelphia, mostly sunny and 23. Toronto, partly cloudy and 16. And Washington, mostly sunny and 28 degrees. And back at home tonight, cloudy, rain and showers. Evening thunder, decreasing later with a low near 63. Winds westerly, 18 to 24 knots, and then decreasing to 12 to 18 knots later. Tomorrow, cloudy, occasional showers with a high near 65. Winds blowing out of the north, 12 to 18 knots, then veering northeast and easing before increasing to 18 to 24 knots late night. Marine tonight, we've got a thunder advisory and a small craft warning with seas inside the reef 2 to 4 feet, seas outside the reef 8 to 12 feet. Sea surface temperature is 70 degrees. Marine tomorrow, no warning, seas inside the reef 2 to 3 feet, seas outside the reef 6 to 9 feet. High tide will be at 7:23 in the morning and low tide will be at 1:50 in the afternoon. And looking at the 5-day forecast. Saturday, mostly cloudy, periods of rain and showers, windy with a high near 64. Sunday, mostly cloudy, showers in the morning, windy with a high near 66. Monday, mix of sun and cloud with a high near 68. And Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a high near 73. And a very warm VSB welcome and thank you to our new meteorologist, Rob Howlett, and thank you to everybody else at the Bermuda Weather Service. I'm Rachel Sodden. Have a great evening.
Thanks so much for watching the TV 11 News. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire, courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited. Wardrobe and makeup for Rachel Sodden, provided by Gibbons Company.
Vsb TV 11, Bermuda.